Let me tell y'all something I've noticed. So I made a post yesterday and I was like, anybody who called Ice Spice cute is lying. Like, that's just the facts, right? And some people were agreeing, right? They were like, yeah, I don't think Ice Spice is cute. Some people were disagreeing. They were like, well, why do you think that she's ugly, right? What makes her ugly? And then there were some people who disagreed and then called me a hater. They was like, oh yeah, you clearly just hating, right? Now, this is my thing. I distinctly recall that I called somebody on here ugly months ago. I don't remember who it was because the person was not a celebrity or anything. It's not like I could be like, oh, yeah, it was that person. No, it was a random person whose video I was responding to, right? So I called this person ugly, and some people disagreed. And some people asked, well, why do you think this person is ugly? What makes them ugly, right? But what I noticed is that nobody in that situation called me a hater. I wonder what the difference was. You may have guessed the difference between these two scenarios correctly. Ice Spice is a lighter skinned biracial woman, while the other person that I called ugly was a darker skinned, unambiguous black woman, right? So, with both of these situations, people disagreed with me, which I mean, that's not surprising because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like, we're not going to agree on everybody's looks, right? Both of these situations, people commented, they were like, why do you say that? What makes the person ugly, right? But only in one of these scenarios where people like, oh, you're just hating, right? Only one of these scenarios did that happen. Now, I mean, hey, like I said, the darker skinned, unambiguous black woman, she was not a celebrity or anything. She was just a regular person I was reacting to on YouTube. So, I mean, y'all could chalk it up to maybe I'm hating because Ice Spice is a celebrity or whatever. But I don't think that's what it was about. I have noticed throughout my 27 years of life that the only time I'm called a hater when I call somebody ugly is if the person that I call ugly is light skinned, right? If I call a dark skinned person ugly, then nobody's going to be calling me a hater. That's just the reality of the fact, right? And I went and I said this in the comments of this most recent post about Ice Spice. I was like, yeah, I really doubt y'all will be calling me a hater if Ice Spice and I were both light skinned, or if Ice Spice and I were both dark skinned. I really doubt that. Or even if I was light skinned and Ice Spice was dark skinned, right? Nobody ever calls nobody a hater for calling dark skinned people ugly. But God forbid you call a light skinned person ugly, then you gotta be hating if you're dark skinned, right? Because I don't even see y'all use that line with light skinned people. A light skinned person can say that a light skinned person is ugly. Nobody's gonna call it hating. But when a dark skinned person says it, oh, it gotta be hating, right? Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm using the terminology different because I know different generations be using the same words in different ways or different words in the same ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that hating is when you a little bit bitter that somebody got something and you trying to downplay it. So like say somebody got some nice new shoes and everybody hyping them up and you like, like them not that good. You know what I'm saying? That's hating, right? Ice Spice being ugly is not hating because one, she is fucking ugly, and two, I fucking look better than her. Go ahead, be in the comments, man. You crispy burn roast, you just jealous of that biracial Wakandan queen. Go ahead, right? But bitch, what do I have to hate on? That be my question. Whenever somebody accuses me of hating on somebody, what on earth do I have to hate on? Like, please list it because I'm confused on what I'm hating on when I look better than the bitch. Like, okay, at least if I was ugly, then you call me a hater. I mean, that still wouldn't make sense because again, at the same time, everybody has their own opinions on looks. It's some people I think is cute that other people think is ugly. That's the honest to God truth. Because again, everybody has their own differences in opinion. But again, it's only called hating when a dark skinned person thinks that a lighter skinned person is ugly. Ice Spice being beat the fuck down has nothing to do with the fact that she's light skinned or biracial or anything. There's plenty of light skinned biracial people who are pretty. Like Tyler, the woman who made Water, she's pretty. Like, no questions about it. In my opinion, she is pretty, okay? Now, y'all can sit here commenting, what makes her pretty? Why do you say that? I think the girl is pretty. That's just like, and that's another thing. I don't get why y'all be asking, like, why do you think that person is ugly? Because they fucking ugly. I don't know what to tell you. Like, bitch, like, I looked at them and I was like, oh, that bitch is ugly. And that was that. Why do I gotta write a whole fucking thesis statement on why a motherfucker is ugly? Like, what? And I get that y'all be trying to unpack stuff. Like, like I said, with the darker skin, unambiguous person, people were leaving those comments too, right? So I get that maybe y'all trying to unpack colorism, or with the lighter skin person, maybe y'all trying to unpack, an inferiority complex, you feel bad, you trying to tear down who you perceive is better than you. I guess, y'all trying to, unpack what's really going on, but it don't be that deep, bitch. Maybe you just fucking ugly. That's my first thing, right? But again, my point that I'm making here is that, being light skinned and biracial doesn't mean that you ugly. That was in no way what I was saying about Ice Spice. Like, Tyla is pretty, Zendaya is pretty. I think, I was about to say Doja Cat. I don't know. First of all, she weird looking now. And she was low-key ugly to begin with. But she look good with makeup on. When she put makeup on, she is very pretty, okay? There's plenty of light-skinned biracial people who are pretty. Ice Spice just not one of them. This is something that I noticed a long time ago. If you're light-skinned, you don't have to be cute. You can look like a gargoyle, as Ice Spice does, and people are going to hype you up anyway just because you're light-skinned. Like, that's what I noticed a long time ago. When you dark-skinned, you got to be a 10 out of 10. Light-skinned, you can look like badonkadonk, and folks are going to be claiming that you're cute anyway, and claiming that people are hating on you when they say that you ugly, even though you is. Like, that has never made no sense to me. But anyway, my point is, y'all need to unpack y'all biases. Because why anytime a dark-skinned person not worshiping lighter-skinned biracial people, y'all swear they hate them? Like you gotta, if you dark-skinned, you gotta be like, oh, that person's dookie smells like roses. Or else people gonna be claiming that you hating. Like, that's real cuckoo to me.